Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, promises to complete ongoing projects. President Muhammadu Buhari departs Jeddah after OIC meeting. Ogun Police Command cautions transport unions against violence. Romanians get apologies from Pope Francis over misdeeds of the past. What is really needed to make democracy function is not knowledge of facts, but right education. A very good evening to you, and thank you for joining us on our major news for tonight. My name is Idowu Fabajo. We begin the news with the Executive Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, who was joined by eminent personalities, royal fathers, past governors, religious leaders, and well-wishers at a Thanksgiving service in appreciation to God for a successful transition in the state. The inauguration service was presided over by the Diocesan Bishop of Egba Anglican Communion, Right Reverend Emmanuel Adekunle. Elizabeth Eson was at the Cathedral of St. Peter Ake Abeokuta venue of the service. Our report.
On May 29, 2019, Prince Dapo Abiodun took over the mantle of leadership as the governor of Ogun State amidst pomp and pageantry. For a successful transition in the state, it is pertinent to return all glory to God who had made it possible. Hence the need for the inauguration Thanksgiving service, as the governor was joined by the good people of the state to appreciate God and to pray for his continued guidance for a smooth and peaceful administration.
The servant is here among the people you have chosen. A great people too numerous to count and number. So give your servant a discerning heart to govern the people and to distinguish between right and wrong. For who is able to govern these great people of yours?
In his sermon, Right Reverend Emmanuel Uludaisi Adekunle, Diocesan Bishop of Egba Anglican Communion, enjoins the governor to serve with the fear of God and to always put the interest of the people of Ogun State at heart.
These patriots have gone ahead of you, offered various welfare packages and developments. Each has made great impacts on the face of Ogun State. People may want to compare you with them or compare your achievement with theirs. Don't allow that. For advice, do not compare yourself with them. What you have to do is to set your own goal. Make such goal lofty. Pursue this with a specific time frame, and God will help you to surpass all your predecessors.
In his Thanksgiving speech, the governor appreciates everyone who graced the occasion and promises to discharge his duties diligently.
We will be inclusive in government. And I want to assure you that we will complete all ongoing projects. Because we are very emphatic that time and time again, administrations come in and they tend to abandon projects that were started by the previous administration. We will complete all ongoing projects because taxpayers' money have been committed to this project.
Prince Dapo Abiodun was thereafter joined by his wife, Deputy Speaker of the State House of Assembly, the Chief Judge, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, royal fathers, and all dignitaries present at the Thanksgiving as prayers were offered for peaceful and successful administration. Elizabeth Eson, Ogtv News.
Muslim faithful have been admonished to fear Allah and pray fervently for the peaceful coexistence of the nation. The Chief Imam of Ogun State Government House Mosque, Alhaji Adam Tihamiyu, gave the admonition at a special prayer to round off the month of Ramadan at Ogtv in Abeokuta. Yusuf Gani reports.
Prayer is the only shield to surmount all challenges facing individuals and the country at large. It is for this reason that Ogun State Government House Mosque organized the annual tafsir to educate and enlighten Muslim faithful on the efficacy of prayer. The Chief Imam of Government House Mosque, Alhaji Adam Kiwuyemi Tiamiyu, says the special prayer is significant for the peaceful coexistence and progress of the society.
As sọ̀rọ̀ fún ìlú wa Nàìjíríà, ìpè kọ́lọ́run jọ kó fi aláyàbalẹ̀ kó bá gbé síbi tí ó dáa. A sì tún wá tọrọ fún Ogun State wa tí ó jẹ́ pé gómìnà wa tuntun ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ dé kí Ọlọ́run jọ kó ràn lọ́wọ́ kó tì lẹ́yìn kó jẹ́ kó ṣàṣeyege.
Muslim faithful are also advised to remain one and love each other by extending hands of fellowship to the needy.
During the month of Ramadan, all the bad things we have been doing, we need to forget it, to return a new leaf. I want to appeal to everybody. Some of us who are smoker, who are drinker, they have stopped it. Don't let us go back to it.
Okay, my message to the Muslim Ummah is to fear Allah, and particularly at this very point in time, they should be prayerful, because at this point, Allah answers prayer very fast.
Prayer were thereafter offered for the current administration in the state led by Prince Dapo Abiodun, Ogun State, and Nigeria in general.
The need for Nigerians to move closer to Allah in order to overcome all hurdles of life has again been emphasized. Islamic clerics from different denominations stated this during a tafsir program held at Itele Jebu in Ijebu East local government area. Ife Shuluade has the details.
Muslim faithful have been advised to have the spirit of contentment and the heart of free giving. The advice was given at the tafsir program hosted by Ambassador Tunde Oladunjoye in Ijebu Itele, Ogun State. Clerics in their sermons clamored for the need to exhibit the true teachings of Islam, especially beyond the holy month of Ramadan.
Torí pé tẹ́ ẹ bá mọ Ọlọ́run ẹ ní mọ bó ṣe yẹ kẹ́ ẹ sìn. Ìyẹ̀pẹ̀ ló fi dẹ́ ẹ. Lọ́jọ́ tó ń bá tún kú inú rẹ̀ yóò láti jẹ́ sí. Lọ́jọ́ bá tún gbé ẹ jáde inú rẹ̀ náà lọ́tún gbé ẹ jáde. Kí wọ́n ní báyìí àwọn máa dáhùn.
Ambassador Tunde Oladunjoye at the event called on parents to leave good legacies for their children as they are the future leaders of the nation.
Nítorí Ọlọ́run ẹ jẹ́ kí a mójútó àwọn ọmọ wa, torí àwọn ni ọmọ ní ẹ̀yìnwá ọ̀la. Báwo àwọn nǹkan tí wá dàgbà tó àwọn ọmọ náà mọ̀ ní ṣáájú wa lọ.
Prayers were thereafter offered for the upliftment of Ogun State and Nigeria in general.
Gbogbo èyí tí a tọrọ fún gómìnà wa, Olúwa má sábà wá sí fún wa. Gbogbo èyí tí a rántí ọlọ́ba wa fi kún fún wa. Gbogbo aburú tá a wá wọn Olúwa ní olùsọ fún wọn, Olúwa dákun sábà fi sọ̀rọ̀ sí.
Ìgbàlá ilé náà, gbogbo aráàlú fẹ́ ọlọ́dún bá wa fẹ́, gbogbo táwọn aráàlú kọ̀ ọlọ́dún bá wa kọ̀, ọlọ́dún ilé wọn ọ̀rọ̀ mọ́jú ìgbà wọn náà. Àwọn ìkọ́lẹ̀ tó ti Ògùn State ti ṣe kó bá ti wọn jẹ́ o, ọlọ́dún àlọ́bì, ọlọ́dún ilé náà, ọlọ́dún bá aṣàrú fún wọn.
The leadership of Babcock University has reiterated its commitment towards ensuring high-quality education standard without compromising human development, which is crucial for sustainable growth of socio-economic development of the nation. The President and Vice Chancellor of the institution, Professor Tayo Ademola, made this known while delivering a speech during the 17th undergraduate and 8th postgraduate convocation ceremony held at the main bowl of Babcock University Stadium, Ilishan Remo. Kunle Bikunle's report is presented in this package.
While welcoming the parents, guests, and the graduates, the President and Vice Chancellor, Babcock University, Ilishan Remo, Professor Tayo Ademola, gives an overview of the achievements of the institution and promises continuous standard development of the school.
In 2018, our students Muyosore Egbefo was the best overall in the examination of ICANN, not only in Nigeria, but also in London and Carnival centers. The story of our success is reflected in other fields of study such as law, nursing, computer-related courses, mass communication, economics.
Delivering a lecture titled Faith, Fact and Fiction, the guest lecturer, Professor Tony Falola, encourages graduating students to be alive to their responsibilities while enjoining them to keep to the Babcock knowledge and teachings wherever they may find themselves.
Babcock is the center of innovation. Innovation in new disciplines, innovations in new knowledge.
In his remarks, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, lauds the management of the school for keeping to their promises towards giving out the best education to their worlds. He enjoins the graduates to be good ambassadors of the university.
I believe the standard that Babcock University has set, a combination of spirituality and also learning, will endure, and from here, Nigeria will be able to harvest great leaders, young men and women, who will go all out into the world to do exploits for this country.
It was a memorable event for the graduating students as they shared their experiences while in the institution.
God has led me, and I must confess I have to show huge appreciation to my husband. He has been supportive all the way.
I feel very excited because this is the peak of the academic degree across the globe. And I feel good that God has actually made it possible also in my life to have attained this peak.
The Bongonjos, Dr. Jacob Gyanj Buba, and Professor Tony Falola were honored with Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, just as some awards were given to graduates, as Bawa Dogo was awarded the overall best graduating student of the university.
In a bid to decongest the prisons, the Chief Judge of some states of the Federation visit prison formations in their respective states and release suspects detained unlawfully. In this special report, our judiciary correspondent, Kolawole Osho, takes a look at whether prison decongestion really serves its purpose and how the society integrated the convicts back. Details of this report are presented in this package.
The Prison Act and the Criminal Justice Act empowered top judicial officers, including the Chief Justice of Nigeria and the state chief judges, to conduct prison visits and order the release of any prison inmate if satisfied that the detention of such suspect is unlawful.
The essence of prison visitation by the CJ or jail delivering is to ensure that some awaiting inmates who have been there and their records are no longer available and their cases are not attended to avoid them being in custody in perpetuity. And for those other minor cases which can easily be pardoned, these are the cases that the CJ will attend to when he gets to prison visitation.
According to them, prison visit is also intended to protect liberties of suspects as provided for in the Constitution.
The major aim of the law is to ensure that people that the justice is served on everybody. Justice is said to be tripartite. So we can't say that because people have been accused of committing some offenses, we cannot just throw them in prisons and just leave them there. So that is the major aim why our CJs are going to prisons, to ensure that people that are in prisons are being served justice.
How does society integrate them back? Are they free from stigmatization? Legal practitioners react.
Society does not want to associate themselves with them because they believe they are blood. That people, ex-convicts are aggressive. Society has refused to get used to ex-convicts.
There might be phobia in relating with them from friends and other things. There might be distance, but with time, the behavior of that person will determine whether he had to be fully accepted or absorbed.
They say prisons are meant to be corrective institutions for inmates rather than for punishment and stigmatization that they are facing.
Ordinarily, it should be a place of rehabilitation and reformation center. But it is not, as far as I'm concerned, because how will you explain somebody who has been convicted and has spent 5 years term in jail, only for him to come out because no family is ready to welcome him? He goes back on the street again to go and steal petty things simply because he wants to go back there. At least he will still eat. And there's no family out there to house him or give him food. So our government should do more in sensitizing the public. The fact that they have gone there does not mean they are less human.
It's my own view anyway. Nigeria prisons are not yet in that position correcting people.
Legal practitioners also pointed out that the order of the Chief Judge did not apply to prisoners under trial, an offense that attracts death penalty, but to those unlawfully remanded.
In outer security matters, Ogun State Police commanders uncovered a clandestine plan by some disgruntled elements to unleash violence on the innocent citizens of the state under the cover of some transport unions in the state. The command hereby wished to warn that anybody or group who make any attempt to disrupt the peace of the state under any guise will be decisively dealt with, no matter how highly placed such person or group might be. As an organization constitutionally saddled with the responsibility of protecting lives and property, the command will not fold its arms, while some few miscreants will be making life difficult for law-abiding citizens of the state. In view of this, members of various transport unions and other associations are hereby warned to desist from any act capable of undermining the peace of the state, as any act of thuggery, hooliganism, will be viewed with all seriousness, and the perpetrators will have the law enforcement agencies to contend with. The command believes that every union and association has rules and regulations governing the activities of members. Therefore, aggrieved members of any of the unions should channel their grievances through the laid down procedures rather than taking laws into their hands, as doing so will be counterproductive. The CP states that all area commanders, DPOs, as well as special units have been directed by the Commissioner of Police, CP Bashir Makama, to decisively deal with any troublemaker in the state. All law-abiding citizens are enjoined to go about their lawful businesses without fear of any harassment or intimidation, and if any suspicious movement or gathering is noticed, such should be brought to the attention of the police without delay. The federal government has declared Tuesday, June 4 and Wednesday 5th as public holidays to mark the Muslim Eid al-Fitr celebrations. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Interior, Georgina Herrera, announced these on behalf of the government while congratulating Muslims on the successful completion of the Ramadan fast. He enjoined all Nigerians to use the occasion of the celebration to pray for the peace, unity, prosperity and stability of the nation. According to a release on Friday by the Director, Press and Public Relations, Mohammed Manga, the Permanent Secretary also enjoined Nigerians to shun hate speeches and decisive tendencies and join hands with the present administration to build a peaceful and united Nigeria. The presidential aircraft conveying the president and members of his entourage left the Jeddah airport for Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. Some senior officials of the government of Saudi Arabia, led by the Deputy Governor of Mecca Province, Prince Abdullah bin Bandau bin Abdulaziz, were at the airport to bid the president farewell. While in Saudi Arabia, the president participated in the OIC summit, where he noted with delight the decision of the organization to support the Inter-Basin Water Transfer Project aimed at recharging the Lake Chad. According to the Nigerian leader, the shrinking of Lake Chad to about 10% of its original size at had adversely affected over 30 million livelihoods in the sub-region. He further maintained that the shrinking had caused severe economic deprivation, fueled illegal migration to Europe, and caused displacement of communities and radicalization of youth, forcing them to join the Boko Haram terrorist group. President Buhari during the summit also thanked the organization for its various interventions under the Special Program for the Development of Africa and the Islamic Solidarity Fund for Development. He expressed confidence that the continued support of Nigeria's multilateral partners, notably the OIC and the Islamic Development Bank Group, would be most needed as the country redoubled efforts towards achieving rapid socio-economic development. Ahead of the election for President of the United Nations General Assembly scheduled to hold in New York, June 4, 2019, President Muhammadu Buhari has sent a federal government delegation to support Nigeria's candidate, Professor Tijani Mohammed Banede, who is the representative of Nigeria to UN, will become the second Nigerian to be elected president of the UN General Assembly after Major General Joseph Naval Garuba retired, who held the position between 1989 and 1990. In a statement issued by Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Gaba Shehu, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, will lead the delegation, which includes the Director General of National Intelligence Agency, Executive Secretary of the Petroleum Technology Development Fund, and Senior Special Assistant to the President, Media and Publicity. President Buhari is confident that Nigeria's imminent presidency of the 74th session of the UN General Assembly will provide a unique opportunity to accentuate Nigeria's voice on political, social, economic and environmental challenges facing the world, adding that Nigeria will build on progress achieved under Ecuador's presidency of the 73rd Assembly led by Maria Fernando Espinosa to further promote key themes that President Muhammadu Buhari has championed on the global scene since 2015, which include climate change, terrorism and violence extremism, as well as establishing functional anti-corruption mechanisms to assist countries like Nigeria recover and repatriate stolen funds. Having a Christ-like is the ultimate goal that every Christian must imbibe. This was the chorus of message delivered at the one-year remembrance service for the former Secretary to Ogun State Government, Dikin Poju Adeyemi. Adebola Oshomoji was at Ibarra Baptist Church at Abeokuta, venue of the event, and our report is presented in this package.
Sweet is the memory of the righteous. It is for this reason that family members, friends and well-wishers gathered at Ibarra Baptist Church, Abeokuta, for a year remembrance service for Deacon Adepoju Adeyemi. The church service featured words of exhortations.
It is written to understand and appreciate the high goals that God has for the church. That is the basis of the letter of Paul, church in Ephesus. And when we look at the chapter that we have read, Ephesians chapter 4, verse 13, Apostle Paul identified three things that we must do in order to come to the fullness of Christ.
In showing gratitude to God for upholding the family after the demise of their father, a thanksgiving was held as the congregation danced to the altar. Immediately after the service, guests were later entertained at the deceased residence, GRA Ibarra Abeokuta. Though he is no more, but his legacy lives on in the minds of many.
It's been so far so good. When Daddy died, it was as if the heavens were going to fall because he was a good man.
Of course we miss him every day. I can't deny that. I miss him every day. But we're grateful to God because
God has been with us. Even today, Thanksgiving with Papa, and I thank God because He has been wonderful in my life, with my husband, with my children.
Honestly, yes, we miss him every blessed day, every blessed minute. He was a very, very, very good man.
Its exit, as painful as it is, but the family is fine. We're pulling through, and the Lord has been very faithful to us. It's been wonderful.
To who had been widows, they will tell you it's not easy. But then, God has been our provider, and He never fails.
Late Deacon Adepoju Adeyemi was the former secretary to the Ogun State government who served the state meritoriously and died at the age of 80. Adebola Oshomoji, Ogtv News.
Away from the shores of the country now, Pope Francis has apologized to the Roman people on behalf of the Catholic Church during his visit to Romania. At a meeting with Roman people on the last day of his visit to the country, the pontiff asked for forgiveness for all those times in history when there was dissemination, mistreat, among others, saying Roma people have faced persecution in Europe for centuries. Hundreds of thousands are thought to have been killed during the Holocaust. Nowadays, Roma live mainly in southern and central Europe and make up about 10% of Romania's total population. They complain that they struggle to get work because of discrimination and may live in poverty. The meeting with Roma came after a ceremony in Blaj at which Pope Francis beatified 7 bishops who were jailed and tortured during communist rule in Romania. And now into the world of sport, Andrews Jr. produced one of the biggest shocks in the history of heavyweight boxing to rip Anthony Joshua's IBF, WBO and WBA world heavyweight titles from him and tear off the division's proposed plot lines. In a truly remarkable fight at New York's Madison Square Garden, Rose floored Joshua 4 times en route to a 7th round stoppage, which stunned this famous arena and handed the Briton his 4th defeat as a professional. Joshua was a 1-25 favorite with bookmakers, with 22 wins, 21 by knockout going into the fight. He will now join the likes of Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson and dominant champions to suffer losses, which brought the sport to a standstill. Now let's see the weather forecast for Monday. Just before we go, let's quickly remind you that what is really needed to make democracy function is not knowledge of facts, but right education. That's it on our major news for today. Many thanks to you for watching. Do have a lovely week. Good night.